the Fire Monk, the fastest open world farm build I have seen this far. With this build, Monk finally gets AoE abilities that follows you around, making farming so much more enjoyable and easier. While this build is easier, it is still faster than any other build I have tested so far, so you definitely want to test this build out. The main thing with this build is huge movement speed while also dispatching every pack almost instantly. Yellows and blues will take a bit more time, but they won't slow you down. The only problem with this build is picking up your loot and the fact that we only have one dash ability, but with Fist of Thunder's dash and the 50% movement speed, if you capped your gear to 20%, it is not going to slow you down. But now you've seen and heard briefly what this build does, so let's go over abilities, essence and set items we will be using with this build. So first off, let's go over our primary ability, that will be Fist of Thunder. With this we do get a dash, so we can dash to packs and then use our abilities to deal more damage. Also, this helps with the larger enemies. If you have purple spam or yellow spam, you can kill them faster with this. And with Fist of Thunder we are using Unyielding Doctrine, and that will give us 50% attack speed for primary attacks for 1 second with 10% chance of proccing from your primary attacks. This will greatly increase your speed with the larger enemies. This is not mandatory, but I like to have this on with me. Now let's go over one of the best abilities in this build, and that's going to be Cyclone Strike. Now with Cyclone Strike we will be using 2 essences, and those 2 essences will be Balance in Moderation and Eye of the Storm. Now what does these 2 abilities do to Cyclone Strike? Well, firstly, the chest will cause us have Mystic Winds, which create a torrent of Mystic Wind around you for 5 seconds. We are going to have this up almost all the time with some other things, but we will talk about them later. Now, the cooldown is 9 seconds, but that's perfect for us because we will get that to max, and maxing this out will give you 18% damage increase. Now, with the Eye of the Storm, I got the offhand, Cyclone Strike radius will be increased by 29%, so it is easier to hit everything around you, so you will definitely hit everybody around you when you go to the back. Now the other ability we are using with the Cyclone Strike to make Cyclone Strike even better is going to be Shield of Zen. Now with Shield of Zen we are using Calefaction on the main hand, and we are using Pensive Crown on the headpiece. Now what does these 2 essences do to Shield of Zen? Now firstly, the main hand will give us shield that protects us from damage and also deals burning damage around everybody you touch. This burning damage will last on the enemies for 4 to 5 seconds. The important part is the burn on this, because if you burn your enemies and hit them with the Cyclone Strike afterwards, you will get a critical strike, or at least it is shown as a critical strike and the damage is double. Now, the Pensive Crown, I got the helmet, just increased Shield of Zen's duration by 39%, so we can have this up all the time. That's the only part that the helmet is doing. And next up, because we still cannot just run past with the packs with these two abilities, unless of course if you have 7+7 K resonance, that might be possible. We need something else to instantly kill everything around us. And the best way to do that is using Exploding Palm. And with Exploding Palm, we are of course using Obstruction of Omniscience. Now, what does this give us for Exploding Palm? Well, Firstly, it decreases the cooldown from 9 seconds to 6 seconds, so we can have the exploding palm explode more often or use it more often on the packs. And it also gives us a dash. So basically, we don't really want to dash to the enemies with this one, we just want to dash to enemies with Fist of Thunder, and then we dash through with the exploding palm, and they should briefly explode, killing the wall back. Next up, we have another ability that we will be doing the same thing, and that is Wave of Light. And with Wave of Light, we are using the last two pieces, aka shoulders being Shimmerlin and pants being Chastising Radiance. Now, what does these essences do to Wave of Light? Well, first off, Shimmerlin will make your Wave of Light just explode around you, dealing damage to everybody around you and burning them down. This doesn't have the highest damage output from all the abilities, but it has enough damage to just one-shot the packs while you have Shield Zen and Cyclone Strike on. And because it has so much range and it shoots everywhere from you, you will be hitting the wall pack and the wall pack should die. Now, with the Chastising Radiance, we are just getting 19% increased damage to the Wave of Light, making or ensuring that we will kill the wall pack. And next up, we are going to our set items. We have some new sets here, mainly Issatar. We are using Issatar set with this because we are not using Enlightenment's Blessing and we are not getting the 25% movement speed increase from there. But Issatar 2 pieces will give us 30% movement speed for 3 seconds every time we defeat an enemy. And because when you are open world farming, it shouldn't take you 3 seconds to get to the next pack. So basically we have 30% movement speed up all the time. And you definitely should max out your movement speed from the magic attributes and from the Bloodsoaked Jade if you happen to have that, because that gives you 10% movement speed, and then it's a lot easier getting that 20% movement speed, so we have 50% movement speed all the time. And why do we need that 50% movement speed? Well, we need to move fast, but also 4-piece Issatar set will give us 2.5% damage increase for every 5% movement speed increase, capping at 25% maximum damage while we are at maximum movement speed of 50%. So now with this set piece we will have 50% movement speed all the time if you cap that movement speed with the attributes, and 25% damage increase all the time, making it easier to one-shot all the packs. Now we still need 2 more set items, and we really need this because this is going to be Witu's Urge, and we are getting that sweet 30% beneficial effects duration increase from the 2 pieces, and we need this for the Shield of Zen and Cyclone Strike to be up all the time. Now I will be honest with you, this is not enough to have Shield of Zen and Cyclone Strike up all the time. You will definitely need some awakenings, or you need almost every single gear piece to have cooldown reduction so you can hit the caps. But you will need about 20% cooldown reduction for your Shield Vision and about 15% cooldown reduction for your Cyclone Strike. So if you have rank 10 1 stars or 2 stars, I highly recommend awakening your helmet. That will yield you 10% cooldown reduction to Shield Vision. Main hand, mainly qualification. And this will also give you 10% cooldown decrease to Shield Vision. And then also you need to awaken your offhand lastly to get 10% cooldown reduction to Cyclone Strike, and then you will match the cooldowns that I have right now, making everything last almost indefinitely. Now on all the tests I made and everything you see on the video, I used 2,800 resonance, and I also used Treasure Hunter Paragon 3 because I still need the dust, I still need the scrap, and with this we just get a bit more treasure when we kill a elite monsters, and this just, even if it just gives us 5% increase, it's still 5% increase, so I'm still using this. But if you want to get all the damage out from this build and you don't really care about that little increase on the scrap and dust, then you can use Weaver to increase your damage by quite a lot. You will get 6.5% increased critical hit chance, and you will also get 15% damage increase if you max this out, making the farming even faster. Although it's debatable if you can one-shot the packs without this. Treasure Hunter is going to be better for farming purposes, but if you just want to be fast, you can use the Weaver. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I will be catching you on the next one.